Yeah, drop. Hey, huh.
So what's up guys, this is 𝗪𝗚𝗟𝗟𝗟 and today I'm gonna showcase Shooting Star. This is an old challenge of mine. We're gonna use the RET2CSU technique in order to solve it. The issue is that this technique is not used in current systems, most likely, but it's a good way to understand how gadget works and the assembly behind it. So let's go, we go here, Shooting Star, download the challenge. It's currently disabled. Okay, so let's try and solve it locally first. So we have it right here, tape, box, and we see we have the Shooting Star, make it executable. So we have this Shooting Star, the Shooting Star, make a wish, blah blah, okay, learn about the stars, amazing. Go stare at the stars, played myself. Okay, let's try option 1, make a wish. Your wish come true and we got a segmentation fault. Okay, looks like a really basic buffer overflow challenge. Let's also check sections. We go inside GDB, check sec, and indeed we see there's no canary, there's no pi, and there's partial railroad, which we don't care about this challenge, but no canary and no pi is really perfect scenario. And let's also see info functions. We see we have init, write, read, star, setup, main. Okay, so as we can see here, we do not have a print function or a puts or whatever. If we do the puts, the printf, see there are no symbols for these functions, but if we do p, write, p, read, we see that these functions exist inside the program, and that's what we're gonna abuse, because in a simple RET2LIBC scenario, the goal would be something like, so the scenario, RET2LIBC vs RET2CSU. So RET2LIBC, what we actually want to do is take a libc address via printf or a similar function that prints to the screen. And these functions will go something like puts, and right here we're gonna have read.got. That's a function we could possibly leak. Or printf would be something like, or printf will be pretty much the same. We can either leak this way. Okay, so we have a function and one argument. Okay, that means that the argument should be loaded on RDI. A small recap from what we have learned so far. If we want to call foo, for example, and have, I don't know, 131269, we want to call this function with these arguments. What we need to do is the first argument, arg1, goes inside the RDI register. arg2 goes inside RSI, and arg3 goes inside RDX. Okay, so we need to have control over these three registers in order to control these three arguments. Okay, so how we're gonna do that? We need similar gadgets like pop RDI, red, stuff like that. Okay, so if we go here and here, have RSI and RDX. So okay, if we have these gadgets, we can possibly call something like write 1, which is std out, read at got, and 8, because this way we're gonna write on the screen, print to us, the address of read.got or whatever function we want from libc, and we want 8 bytes of that, so we need control over these three registers. Okay, this way we can bypass that the binary do not have puts and printf and use write to leak. What's the actual problem here is that inside the debugger we can do drop dash dash rep pop RDI pop RDN, we see we have this gadget, pop RSI, we have this gadget, and RDX, we see that we do not have this gadget. And in most cases, this gadget will not be available to us. That means we cannot call this because we don't have access over the third argument. So how we're going to proceed? If we disast this, does libc CSU, so right here, we see that there is a move R14 into RDX. So this is our only option to have control over RDX. But first, we need to have R14 with something. And right here, where is it? Right here, we see that we pop it. We pop R14. That means we can add the value inside it. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to call it, let's call this gadget1. So our gadget1 contains pops. Okay, we can pop RBX, RBP, R12 through R15 and then return somewhere. Okay, so we have control over these registers. If we check a bit above here, we see this. Okay, take that, go here, let's call it gadget2. And what we see here, we see on gadget1, we can pop R14, R13, R12, all these registers. And right here at gadget2, we have move R14 to RDX. So we have control over RDX via this pop. Same with RSI R13, EDI R12, and the, let's say, tricky part here is that at +65 we have call whatever is here. So we can call R15 plus RBX times 8. Simplest way to do it, if we zero out RBX, it will be 0 times 8. So we can simply call whatever R15 has, which we control with gadget1. After that, it's gonna have RBX plus 1, which RBX will be 0, make our lives simpler. And then it will compare RBP with RBX, and as we said, RBX will be 1. So we need to control RBP, right here, right here, right here, to be 1. This way we can call these gadgets. So let's start, and first of all, let's find our payload, our offset. Cyclic 200, take that, go here, run, make a wish, boom. And as we can see, cyclic -0, 52, 72. Okay. So yeah, we have found that the offset is as 72. Figure above. So we have our payload, which is gonna be A times 72. After that, what we need to call these gadgets. Let's start with gadget 1. And as we saw, gadget 1, let's call it G1, will be P64, no P64, let's this E.sim libc CSU, and what we see it's plus 82 here, 2, and let's create the second gadget similar way. It will be this 6. So this way we can redirect our flow to hit here and pop all these gadgets, all these registers, and after that we call gadget 2, call this. But the tricky part is that when we call gadget 2, after that inside this disassembly, we see that below that it calls again gadget 1. So it will pop the registers again. We should keep that in mind. So let's go. We have 72 and then we call P64 and we call gadget 1. So our flow will redirect right into here. And what we have now, first of all, we have RBX. RBX should contain the value as we see here and here. So we want it to be 0. rbx. After that, we have rbp. So we go here, rbp, and what do we want it? We want rbp to be 1. Why? Because rbx was 0, then became 1, and we want to have 1 equals 1. So right here we have 1. What we have next, R12. We see R12 here and R12 here, which is EDI, which is the first argument of write, and we want it also to be 1. So this is R12, RDI, call write 1, read at GOT. This is our goal. We want to call this in order to leak a libc address. After that, we have R13. R13 is RSI. RSI is the second argument, so we want the address of read at GOT. So we go e64 e.got read. So we have R13, which is RSI, and then we want R14, and R14 is the RDX gadget which caused all this trouble to go into this technique, and we want it to be 8. We have R14 RDX. So this way we have managed to call this in order to leak an address. What else are we missing? We're missing, right now we have set up this. What we need the address of write in order to call it. We'll call R15, and because RBX is 0 point, so it will simply call write with all the arguments. So we go here and we do write call function. Okay, so we have done that. What else is missing? As we saw, when this ends at 73, it will again start populating pop-up the registers, so we need to fill them out with zeros. So let's go with payload plus equals p64 07 fill the popped eggs, and after that we want to return either to main or to star. We didn't show star, but as we see, main only calls stars and a write, of course, just star, and this is where the overflow occurs here. So I'm gonna simply go with e64 e.star turn to star picking r.sendLine 1. Let's do sendLine after it. Make a wish r.sendLine, and right here we want our payload both. And what we need now are .interactive. We want to see if we have actually managed to click an address. So we run our solver. So of course, first of all, let's change the libc to be mine. I'm gonna change this. I'm being okay, nice and clear. Okay, we see that we got nothing. And why is that? Oh, we never called gadget2. So right here, we wanna call gadget2. Let's see. Right now we see that we got a leak. Hopefully this is good. So let's do r.𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪 this and line r.𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪 should be our leak. Right here we have our leak. Let's also convert something good. Unpack 64. Let's also calculate libc base. libc address should be our leak minus libc.sim read, because this is the function I'm leaking. We have this, and let's also base libc.address, and we want a nice format, so I'm gonna do this here. And let's see what we've got so far. Okay, seems legit. And we have a nice offset for read and zeros for libc base. Let's see, is it constant? Yes, a 80, so it seems good. And okay, now that we have linked a libc address and calculated libc base, we can simply go and perform a RET2LIBC attack. If you're not familiar with this, you can check my other videos. I've explained it in full details. So again, what we need is here our payload. After that, we want something like system in sh. So similar process. Right here we need to have RDI containing this string. So I'm gonna do plus equals 364, and we want a pop RDI gadget. As we saw, we already have it. So pop RDI here. Okay. After that, we need the InSH string, and how we're gonna find that? 364. Next, libc.search, and inside that we will actually need a return gadget for stack alignment. So here we simply take red gadget, this red gadget for stack alignment, and then what we need to actually call system base64. Now that we have the libc base, we can simply do libc.sim and system. So this is our payload. If we send it, our dot send line after this, because we are inside star, and send the payload. Let's see. Okay, we have messed up somewhere. Maybe messing up here. Okay, so let's send again. Might be more appropriate. And we see that we have managed to get cell locally. So the issue right now with the challenge is that, okay, locally we managed to get the flag. We saw how we use the RET2CSU technique here. RET2CSU. But the issue is that remotely we don't have the libc, fortunately. So how we're gonna achieve that? How we're gonna get the correct libc to calculate the base and the offset? It's pretty much simple. I mean, if the challenge was spawning, because right now it does not, I don't know the reason. So if the challenge was spawning, right here you would link the read of the remote system, which would have another offset. Okay, you could simply also go here and change this to, I don't know, write system or whatever it has, whatever you want. And if you go here, you can do the offsets. For example, read, and my offset was A80, something like that, in my local machine. And it gives me a couple of libcs that might have this offset. So if you link a couple of addresses, put them here and search, you will eventually find the correct libc. Also keep in mind that the challenge was old. It was 2020 when I did that. So most likely the libc I used was 227, something like that. So yeah, that was the challenge, guys. I hope you learned something, and I tried to explain it in depth to understand how the gadgets work and stuff. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel to support me. If you have any questions, leave a comment, and see you in the next video. Bye.